Sheriff. I have Marshal Pete Elliott here with the United States Marshal Service, Mr. Smurglia from ATF, Captain Marino from Canton PD, and Chief Mark Brink. As you know, we had a law enforcement operation here in the last few hours, and we want to give you a little bit of an update. I'm going to turn it over to the Marshal and talk a little bit about why we were here.
So today, about 12:15, the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force had a warrant for an individual out of West Virginia. He was wanted for felony possession of a firearm, a federal charge of Charleston. He is a career criminal, long history of violence, including bank robberies. Today, we received the warrant Friday. Today, we were to apprehend this individual. And when the men and women of the Fugitive Task Force approached him, we spotted a firearm that he had in this hotel behind you here. He backed off, called the Canton Police SWAT team, the regional SWAT team here that came in. That suspect started firing shots at our officers. Actually hit one of the SWAT officers. The subject is deceased at this time, and very glad that all of our law enforcement officers lived, and they're going to be able to pay. It's a very dangerous job that the men and the women of the task force have. I'm very proud of the men that are standing up here today, and their dedication to service here in the Canton area, the Jackson area, and the Stark County area. Again, this is a very violent individual. History of violence, fired shots at our officers. The officer was struck. The suspect is deceased.
Was there anybody else in the room or anyone else harmed or any civilians related to a hostage or anything like that?
No, there's nobody else upstairs.
Approximately how long did the shooting occur? Was it a minute? Was it just 30 seconds?
There were multiple volleys of shots fired out of the resident, out of the apartment to that officers. So it was a prolonged situation. So it was over the course of several minutes.
I just want to say that these type of operations go on in our community every day with our partnership with the Marshal Service and local law enforcement to rid our community of violent fugitives. This is just another case of where, somebody's living in our community that can perpetrate crimes in our community right here, right next to us. And it was good police work by our Marshals Task Force right here in Canton to locate this guy and to try to take him into custody. Unfortunately, not everything goes the way we would like them to go, but in this case, as I repeat what the Marshal said, we're very, very fortunate that more officers weren't injured in this case, and the situation ended the way that it did.
And there were multiple attempts to have him surrender peacefully. They refused to do that. Started firing shots through windows, through walls, and everything at the small officers.
Do you know how many rounds were fired?
Not at this time. And let me just add to that. Chief Brink has asked the Bureau of Criminal Investigation from the Attorney General's office to complete the investigation related to this incident. And so they are on scene, and they will be conducting an investigation into the shooting related to the suspect.
Can you give us the name of the suspect, his age, or date of birth, his neighborhood residence?
No, not at this time. We're not going to release a name. At this point, again, this individual had a long career criminal history dating back to the 1970s. So, for armed robbery, for bank robberies, for very violent crimes, he did not want to go peacefully.
Is he working alone with the other suspects out there?
Again, we had a federal arrest warrant for him alone, so we want to make the arrest of him too. The conditions are well.
At this point, he's in stable condition, and he's being treated and released.
Are you able to tell us where he was shot on his body?
He was hit in his arm.
He was one of the responding SWAT operatives.
Canton Regional SWAT? It was he with,
So was it a local officer?
Yes.
Tell us his name.
Nice try.
still open? Are the families that are staying there stay?
Yes.
What was the response for the people that were here in this Cracker Barrel? Was it shelter in place? Was it on lockdown? Were they forced to evacuate immediately?
They were evacuated to the back of the building and remained there until the operation was over.
About how long? Do you have any idea how long that shelter in place for them was?
I don't know how long that
It
was.
seems like forever in those cases, but honestly, we had the interstate closed down. We had, a lot of areas that we were concerned with crossfire, and so all those precautions were put into place to the safety of people.
Can you tell me what time the marshals arrived here and what time the shooting occurred?
We arrived today about 12:15, a little after noon, to make the rest of the things started like at again, the warrant was sent to us on Friday. We did the work up on the case. It was a phenomenal job. I think tracking here to this hotel room. It's a very dangerous job. I don't need to tell you guys that. A couple years ago, we had another shooting out here. And if you remember that one, that was by an individual who only died suicide by cop, right? I think most of you were out here when we were covering that. So this guy did not want to go peacefully again. We tried to get him out peacefully and gave him that option.
So he did not kill he was shot.
Again, this investigation, as the sheriff says, is being handled right now by Jackson Police and DCI, so we're going to find that out. All those details are going to come out.
So there's still a road closed.
I believe all the roads are open as far as
Obviously, this corner of the hotel is part of an investigation, so that's barricaded off. Our understanding is the normal operations of the other place.
For those of us who jumped into this late, we got the press release talking about the attempt to arrest the individual. Will you walk us through what time that began and what happened?
Sure. Just to repeat, about 12:15, our Marshals Task Force that's stationed right here in Canton made an attempt to serve a fugitive warrant, felony warrant on the individual that was in the room of this hotel. When they made the attempt, they discovered a gun. The gun was pointed at them, actually, and they backed off and called the SWAT team in, the regional SWAT team right here in Canton. That SWAT team responded, and one of the SWAT members was struck by gunfire as the suspect shot from the hotel room. That officer is in stable condition and is expected to make a full recovery.
What is the identity of the fugitive?
We're not releasing the identity at this time.
Where at in West Virginia was he
Charles.
wanted?
Federal District Court.
Charleston is where the warrant was from.
Yes.
That's
It was out of that district, so the Southern District of West Virginia.
What led you guys to his location being here, though, in Stark County?
I think just great police work. We have I believe a great task force out here with the participation of the police and the sheriffs, Canton Police and Jackson and the sheriff here. So they were on it, put things together, which led them to this place today. And again, it is what it is. And again, we gave them that opportunity to peacefully surrender and come out.
You see a lot of police presence here. You see some highway patrol here. The all-call went out when one of our SWAT members was shot, and when that goes out, we get assistance from everybody. That's why you see the heavy police presence.
Are you able to confirm what departments were here, though? I mean, was North Canton on scene as well as Canton and Jackson and the sheriff's office?
believe every department is.
How did you guys make the decision to close the freeway?
We asked that it be closed when he was firing rounds. Our officers knew that some rounds were flying up in that direction, so we decided we could close it down for the safety of the travel.
Do you have an estimate of how many shots the individual fired?
Again, this is going to be under investigation by BCI at this time, so that's all going to come out.
And what specific firearms were found in the home?
Again, that will come out in the investigation.
Has the officer been discharged from the hospital? Okay.
Well, we pray he's going to be safe. We're hopeful we're going to do stuff.
I mean, because it's such a congested, I mean, it's a busy area, it's a nice area, why here?
Probably because you can walk in Cracker Barrel right next door. So the hotel's right here. At the end of the day,
Close to the interstate.
you know, most of the interstate reasons. Right. So, again, warrant was from a different state. However, the suspect had violations in different parts of the country. So, again, they're criminal, bank robberies, armed robberies, and so on. So, again, a violent individual. So, I think it was really good police work by all the departments stepping up with brought them to this organization to make the rest of us violent.
We talked.
I just want to add, we've had this partnership with the Marshal Service for about 11 years now. And this partnership has really allowed us, law enforcement, to track down and remove violent fugitives from our community. This is just another example of somebody violent that's living right here in our community. And so we're grateful for the partnership, and we think that it's done a lot of good in our community to keep us safe, keep our community safe. And sometimes like today, things don't always go as we plan, and that's the result of this. But our men and women did a fantastic job containing this situation, and unfortunately somebody was injured, but they did their jobs today.
Could this be more prevented in the future?
What's that?
Could this be more prevented in the future?
Sure, violent criminals stop being violent. Yes, absolutely.
And that's why we have the task force to prevent it in the future.
We talked with a nearby business who said law enforcement's in this area frequently for different operations. Can you say whether this is a trouble spot in terms of criminal activity?
No, I don't think this is a trouble spot.
You got it. Okay.
We have some issues. I think the location to the highway has a lot to do with that. But to say that it's more trouble than the next spot, I don't want to say that.
Thank you.
But I really do feel like this speaks to law enforcement today and what we face out there. We never know. You could have, one of my guys or girls could have easily pulled that vehicle over, and that guy obviously wasn't going to go without a fight. And had the firearms with him. The job it's a dangerous job, and it takes all of us working together. If it wasn't for the marshals knowing that he was here, we wouldn't have known he was in that room today. So it's that cooperation that really makes this work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.